Hello, my little shrimpy friends. I hope you're excited to crochet this top with me today. Go ahead and grab your hooks and let's get started. The materials for this video are the Knit Picks Comfy Fingering Yarns in ivory, parchment, white, and dough, and a 3.5mm hook. For this top, you're going to want to start with 2 of the triangle motifs from our motif video in this series. You can see that I have switched off a color every row, and I just fastened off at the end. So here I'm holding my motifs up to my chest, and I can see that I still need a little bit of room to get to the bottom of my chest right here. So I'm going to continue by adding a round to these triangle motifs. I'm going to begin increasing the size of my motif by starting on the wrong side of the work. Add a chain 2 to bring up the yarn, and then I'm going to double crochet into that first stitch and into the chain space. And now I'm just going to double crochet in each of these double crochet stitches all the way to the corner. Into this chain space here, I'm going to double crochet 2, chain 3, and double crochet 2. And now I'm going to work into each stitch down the other way. Now into this final chain space, I'm going to double crochet 1, and then I'm going to double crochet into the 3rd chain at the beginning of the previous round. This row is complete. I just held my motif up to me and I feel like I need maybe a little bit more room to go. I'm going to continue adding size to this. Add my chain 2 to that first stitch. Then I'm going to double crochet into this first stitch. And I'm going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and double crochet into the next stitch, all the way up to that corner. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next. Chain 1, double crochet into that chain space, chain 1, double crochet into that chain space. Now I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet in that chain space, and again chain 1 and double crochet into the chain space. Here we can see what we've got going. All right, now I'm going to continue the pattern, chain 1, and I'm going to skip this first stitch because I want it to mirror how it looks over here. And we're just going to keep that going all the way down to the corner. I held mine up and I feel good about the sizing, so I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same process on this side. If you still need some more rows, keep following this format that we just did together. You can double crochet in each stitch and the chain space all the way down. And in this corner chain space, you'll do the double crochet 2, chain 3, double crochet 2, and then again double crocheting in each double crochet and chain space across. And then you can do the same thing where you add your chain spaces. I've completed each side. You're going to want to make sure you have the same amount of stitches here before you proceed. And I held it up to my body, and I'm estimating I'm going to need at least 2 rows on each motif to come meet in the middle. Right now we're not worrying about this bottom area. We're only going to worry about building out this edge on each motif to be able to meet in the middle of the chest. Into this chain space here in the corner, I'm going to add 6 chains, 6, and now I'm going to treble crochet 3 together into this first chain space here. And then I'm going to chain 3 and skip the next chain space, treble 3 together, chain 3, skip the next chain space, and I'm going to treble 3 together into the next chain space. And we're just going to keep going along this edge, skipping every other chain space. So as you can see, I have 1 extra chain space here So I'm just going to skip over it at the end. I'm going to chain 3 and just double crochet into that final stitch. So here you can see it's going to look like this. We're lengthening the middle. So now I'm going to go ahead and begin that on the other motif, making sure I have the exact same number of chain spaces and stitches. So this motif I actually had to start on the wrong side and begin in the corner to keep it the same, to make sure that my outside edge is right here. I'm only going to need one more row on each side before I'm able to attach. So however many more rows you need, you can keep adding, but on the final row of each motif, you're going to want to make sure you're working on the right side of the work. For my final row, I'm just going to do some double crochets all the way across, chain 2, double crochet into that first stitch. Into this first chain space of 3, I'm going to double crochet 3. Remaining chain spaces here, I'm going to double crochet 4. Now at the end, I'm going to do 3 double crochet stitches again, double crochet into the 4th chain. Now, as a reminder, since this is my final row, I want to make sure I begin it on the right side of this motif as well, which means I'm going to start by working into the 4th chain, and then I'm going to do 3 double crochet, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, and 1 final in that stitch. Make sure you have the same amount of stitches as you do on the other side. Now it's time to fasten off, leaving a very long tail to attach both motifs together in the middle. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on top of each other, making sure the right sides are facing in. I'm going to start stitching them together, only working through these outside V stitches. I'm going to just slip through each. So here you can see the outside of the V there and the outside of this one here. Pull it through and slip again through this V and through that, only through these outside loops, and stitch it through. I've opened it up and you can see a nice clean line in the center. So the next thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of border. Beginning in the corner, add a chain 2 into the bottom of the work right here to the edge of this double crochet stitch, and I'm going to double crochet into that first stitch there, and now I'm just going to double crochet all the way across the edge. You don't really have to worry about any certain stitch count, just as long as it looks nice and neat. Once you've worked up the edge to where you want the neck to start, the top of the neck, I kind of decided I want it about right here. So I'm going to make a little corner by stitching 2, and then I'm going to just go kind of right where I was to just make a little corner, and then just keep working across the top of the neck. And I'm going to figure out where that same part was over here. I'm going to work across, do another same chain space of 2, and then work down all the way to this edge. Now what I'm going to do is start working across the bottom. I'm going to chain 2, 3, and then just start working along this bottom edge. I'm going to double crochet in 1 stitch and then double crochet in the chain space. I'm going to work all the way to this end. Once we get here, we'll chain 3 and slip into the double crochet stitch at the beginning of the round. So I've gone around the whole perimeter, ending with a chain 3 in the corner and a slip into the next stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and add another round, add a chain 2, and I'm just going to start double crocheting all the way up to this chain space at the top of the neck. just double crocheting in each stitch across. Right, now in this chain space, I'm going to double crochet 2, chain 3, double crochet 2. Now we're going to work across the top and again double crochet 2, chain 3, double crochet 2 into this chain space and double crochet all the way to this corner, same thing, double crochet 2, chain 3, double crochet 2, all the way back into this chain space, double crochet 2, chain 3, double crochet 2, and slip into the stitch at the beginning of the round. This round is now complete. I'm going to add one final round. I'm just going to add a round of single crochet stitches this time. So I'll add a chain 1 to bring up the yarn, and I'm just going to single crochet in each stitch all the way up to this corner right here. Once you've reached this chain space here at the top of the neck, you're going to single crochet into the chain space, and then you're going to chain as many chains as you're going to need to tie around the neck. Now that I've chained 70 chains, I'm going to double crochet in the third chain from the hook and in each chain all the way back towards that chain space. Now that we've worked down the strap, we're going to single crochet back into this chain space here and continue working in each stitch across the top of the neck. Once we get over to this corner, we're going to do the same thing, single crochet into the chain space, chain as many chains as you need for your strap, double crochet back and single crochet into the chain space, working around, adding a strap into each of the 4 corners the same way. And now I'm just going to add a little detail down the middle just to add a little bit of color. So I fastened on a little of my dough color here, and I'm just going to come through each of these V stitches and I'm going to make a slip going all the way down. Now all that's left to do is weave in our ends. Thanks so much for making with me today. If you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe as it genuinely helps support me. Remember to share your work and tag me at Mermaidcat Designs.